Welcome back to this episode of Words Want Wisdom. We are here today, very special episode to talk about the legacy of Caitlin-Rose McMullan. And I am absolutely delighted to be joined by Stella, Caitlin-Rose's mum, and Lorraine, who is best friend to Stella and has been a very good friend to you over this very trying time. So there's a very important Christmas charity event that has been launched, and we are going to talk about that has come about as a result of the experience that you encountered during Caitlin-Rose's treatment in hospital, and we'll talk about that in a little minute. But Stella, if I can come to you first, it's been 8 months since Caitlin-Rose tragically lost her life getting off the school bus. And in those 8 months, you're obviously dealing with a very difficult situation that I don't think any parent can possibly comprehend just how difficult. And you're dealing with that, and you're also dealing with trying to make Caitlin-Rose's life and death continue to impact society in such a positive way. Can you tell us a wee bit about Caitlin-Rose and what you have managed to achieve in the months that have followed since you've lost her, particularly with the legislation that you've pushed forward?
After we lost Caitlin, I just couldn't come to terms with, we had no law, couldn't come to terms with, like, there's no common sense in our country to how kids disembark a bus, get on, get off, and how basically there's no education.
Yeah.
So, like, we live in real country area. My Caitlin's never walked a shop before.
Yeah.
So, when I got a bus pass for Caitlin, I automatically thought there was a safety behind that bus pass. And it was only after then, whenever she tragically lost her life, I found out actually there was nothing.
Yeah.
And that bus pass is only issued due to the radiance of the school. So, I just woke up one night and just thought, this can't happen. Another parent parent can't sit here, and like, Caitlin was my only daughter, and lose your only daughter to a country that has zero policy put in place for school buses. How many children travel to and from school
every day,
and there's nothing put in place for the safety of those children. And I just thought that in her legacy, and I suppose part of my anger of nothing put in place and losing her, that I thought, I'm going to have to stand up here and do something to try and help the rest of the children out there and the rest of the parents.
To turn this tragedy, to try and find some kind of a positive out of it, so that Caitlin-Rose will be the last. Wouldn't that be wonderful if that was, the positive that came from her loss?
I just thought, do you lie under the covers and wait, or do you wait till another child's in the front of a paper, or do you try and make a change? To try and save other children.
And it's not an easy fight that you have taken on.
Definitely not. Like, you're fighting day in, day out, and you feel you're getting nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? 88 days after I buried her, I stood in Stormont. And how I stood there, I do not know.
Yeah.
But I thought, got the legislation passed. We're now in November. And I don't see big changes.
So talk me through the legislation that has been passed. What legislation specifically in terms of bus safety are they?
The bus safety campaign did come out, and, like, down the line, it will be illegal to overtake a school bus.
Okay.
We have seen changes, like on the back of school buses, there has been signs. A lot of the changes have been made around schools themselves, where you slow down, but that's not where kids are getting killed.
No.
Kids are getting killed in rural areas, and I think that's the big thing what I'm trying to get out there is changes need to be made, in rural areas. Like, if a child is issued a bus pass, there needs to be safety. You need to go out to that road and
absolutely
look at that road, see where, and
to risk
if it's not safe,
it. Yeah.
write a letter to the parents. You're not going to risk your child's life by putting her off somewhere that's not safe.
The tragedy of it is, I can remember when I was back in school, which is a good few decades ago, you know, when I was a pupil there, and I can remember because I was from a town, it stood out to me what the teacher had said, because I didn't fully understand what they meant. And it was only as I got older and a wee bit more experienced that I realised he talked about, you know, children getting on and off the buses and buses stopping literally at every hole in the hedge.
Yeah.
And that is what the daily journey to school for many children coming from a rural area is.
Yeah.
There is no designated bus stop. There is no lay-by. There is no safety protocol. They're getting off on small country roads where maybe 60 mile an hour is the speed limit on that. And these are children like Caitlin-Rose that you've said are coming from small rural primary schools who maybe aren't street-wise and aware and all of that. And yet they're having to navigate.
Yeah, well, I
things.
drove Caitlin to and from school every single day, primary school. So, like, where she got dropped off was a 60 mile an hour road, no footpath, no bus shelter, on a mucky grass verge. And I think how in 2025 is that
Acceptable,
right?
Yeah. And when you add in, I suppose, particularly at this time of the year, the dark evenings, the dark school uniforms, the fact that I know we've been talking earlier about young children and, you know, with the earbuds that used to be headphones and things like that, that even they're kind of in a bubble.
Yeah.
And have no awareness of their surroundings, because, you know, we were all young once, and you know, when you're coming home from school, that's all is in your head. I'm going to get in the door. What's for dinner? You know, talk to my friends or play whatever computer game it is. So there has to be something there.
There has to be, as I said that day in Stormont, there has to be a curriculum in the school, and it has to come from an early age, P1, P2, P3. It can't be P6 and P7 where they're doing transfer tests. Like, I remember going to school and I always remember stop, look and listen.
Yeah.
You don't hear that anymore.
No,
like, you know,
don't.
Like 5 minutes a week to learn a child how to get on a bus, how to get off a bus, how to sit in a bus, what to do. Because kids don't listen to their parents.
No.
Kids will listen in school. It's like they're like sponges. You know, where is that now?
Yeah.
That doesn't need a legislation.
No, it doesn't. It needs to be written into the curriculum. As you say, from the get-go, that they are aware of how to navigate this life skills you're talking about there. Life skills that need to be brought up to speed for the very fast world that we live in, because there's been, like, cars are not like, there's a huge difference between the cars in the 80s when I was growing up and the cars that we have today. You know, they are so fast. They're so much bigger in and of themselves. And like, the infrastructure hasn't changed to support that.
Yeah.
So you would think.
But I think, you know, if that was brought in from the kids starting school, even to the kid going to then secondary school and then becoming a driver, that's going to follow them the whole way through.
It is. It's that domino effect.
Yeah.
That they're going to carry all of that with them. You know, even how they would, if we take it down to using mobile phones and driving and all of that, there's education there.
Yeah. But you know, if you're caught on the phone, you've got 3 points. You know, if you're speeding, you've got 3 points. But yet, like, there's nothing else. So, like, you know, why not bring that in and teach kids from an early age? And you're not only teaching kids, those kids will, most of them one day will become drivers. Yeah.
I'm just looking around here and I can see images of Caitlin-Rose and the joy that she had for life and for living life. And I'm sure that what you're doing, you're drawing strength from her and that she's maybe guiding you.
She was almost 12 when she passed away, and like, she loved life to the full, and she's been as on the day of her funeral, you know, like they say, if we had to say how many places she had been, we would draw on a map of the world.
Yeah.
And I just think to have lost her to getting off her school bus is a very hard pill to swallow.
Yeah. when you think that she
should
had
be
been
safe.
all around the globe and had travelled safely.
But jet ski and paragliding, like she was
Yeah.
doing things that, you know, was safety was put on that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to just disembark from her school bus to be.
And the thing is, within school as well, you know, if your child is being taken out of school, there's risk assessment there from the minute they leave the classroom to they get on the bus, from travelling on the bus to getting off the bus. And, you know, throughout each stage of that journey, there needs to be a follow through in society. And there's been some small steps so far in terms of the legislation that you have pushed in terms of Caitlin-Rose, and that's a wonderful legacy. In terms of actions from that,
It's not enough. It hasn't even like, as I said in Stormont, you know, no one just rocks up and grabs a bus and starts to drive, puts kids on them and does what. Someone is in charge of that route. Someone's in charge of issuing bus passes. You know, who are these people? What risk assessments put in place to get a kid to and from school safely? Like at the minute, I don't see any.
Okay. So the legislation's there, and there's been very little that you know of that's been done.
That's changed.
Yeah.
Like there has been, there's been campaigns, there's been stickers put in buses, there has been outside school, as I just mentioned to you, but like, you know, as in where around here, we've there's nothing.
Not in the areas that need
needs
them.
it.
Yeah. No matter what way we talk about it and how long we talk about it, that's the point that we keep coming back to. That.
But when you come to school, what's the first thing you'll do? Is you'll slow down.
Yeah.
But when you come to a real area and you'll see buses stop, and you automatically should think kids are getting off that school bus. People don't think that. Like Caitlin got wiped out on a 60-mile-an-hour road by somebody at the opposite side of the road, you know, driving by.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no law. Like if you see, like, and what I'm pushing for is, obviously it's been passed, the legislation where it should be illegal. Once you see a school bus, like, you know, it takes 2 seconds to stop.
Yeah.
Let that child, and as I said before, if it's not at this moment in time, if it takes time to put a legislation, let the bus driver get off. Let the bus driver have a lollipop stick and a high-vis jacket on and go out and get that child across the road.
Yeah.
You know, like, how long does it take before something...
It needs to be pupil-centred, child-centred, to have that kind of duty of care for all of these young lives and young people that are being transported from school to home and home to school. And that's, you know, no matter what way you skin it, that's the way it comes down.
You know, it's me sitting here, and as you sit in this room watching pictures of my daughter, I'm not getting her back.
No.
You know, and I'm talking from my heart, and there's people there that are reading out of books that aren't experienced what I'm experiencing. Like, this is coming from my heart, and, you know, I'm here to save kids' lives.
Yeah.
And there's people out there who's going, but it's not going to suit me for my child to be whatever. But if you're sitting where I'm sitting at today.
And the reality of it is, no parent wants to sit where you're sitting today. And
but unfortunately,
that's going to happen.
It's not like it's not going to happen again. It's when is this going to happen again?
It's happened far too many times, and it needs to be stopped. Well, I think that if there's a small comfort that can be taken from it, is that you have achieved, and Caitlin-Rose has achieved, a huge thing, and that will evolve. And I know that you are determined, and I don't know where you get your strength from, but I can see it in you, and that you will keep worrying away at it and keep fighting to make sure that there is the change brought in, because it does happen in other places in the world.
Like, it has, like, we're one of the only countries in the world that has nothing.
You're not asking for anything that isn't already in place in other areas.
As I said in Stormont that day, like, we've a law for a horse. You see a horse, you slow down, you overtake it, you don't make a noise. What have we got for our children?
Yeah.
We've nothing. Like, so you know, I call that common sense.
Yeah. Which really has been
and that's in the highway code.
Yeah.
That's what drivers are learning.
Yeah.
But if you see a child, you can go ahead. Like,
and and you're living the consequence of that every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every second. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And I know that you have a wonderful support sitting beside you here. And I know that one of the experiences that you've had in the wake of dealing with this tragedy, and I don't feel equipped to talk about it. I don't even feel equipped to deal with it, or, you know, to try and articulate it. Whenever you were told that Caitlin-Rose wasn't going to live,
Yeah.
that you had said that they had asked you to leave the room,
Yeah.
and that the staff there in the Royal would bring her out.
Yeah. So what
to
they wanted to wash her and
yeah
basically dress her for me, and they had one pair of pajamas and one nightgown. But Caitlin, as most people would know her, she loved animals. So there was a pair of blue fluffy pajamas with 2 polar bears, and I just thought that's exactly what she would have
Yeah.
wanted. But unfortunately, they didn't fit her. They were too small, and there was nothing else there
Yeah.
because it's donations that they rely on. So she was put in another dress, but in my heart, I would have wanted her put in those pajamas.
Yeah.
So that's why Lorraine, we came up with this, like, you know, charity, like, let's all give, you know, like, for people to make that last decision
Yeah.
of when they're leaving a room, what they want to put their daughter in or
Yeah.
son, or, you know, even kids that's lying in hospital or sick.
Yeah.
Maybe, and thankfully, maybe not. Like, that's making it. You know, why not give them something that's going to bring slight joy to their life?
Yeah. And I think there that one of the things that we've talked about, Lorraine, is this charity appeal that you have launched because of your experience with this. And you had said that this was one of the things that had really lived with you, that in the wake of everything, this hidden heartache and this hidden hurt that could be easily eradicated just through a simple act of donations of pajamas. And that's where you kind of came up with the idea to use your shop as a donation point as a drop off for people to donate items of pajamas for children of all ages to support families in tragic situations like this.
Last Thursday night, it was stuck in my head from, I came in here to the room to Stella that day.
Yeah.
She told me what happened and with the jammies and that, and it just stuck in my head for the 8 months. And I says, this day and age, like, we just take everything for granted.
Yeah.
So I said, no, I have to do something about this. Like, watching Stella with her daughter.
Yeah.
Like, it's just awful.
It's heartbreaking.
It's at this day and age.
But to walk in the shop and buy a set of jammies,
We set of jammies, fluffy socks, nighty, you know.
you take for granted buying it for your own child.
Yeah.
But when you're putting it on your child for the very last time, I think that's whenever
It hurts.
It does, absolutely.
And there's people out there who has nothing, you know. It's very hard times for everybody at the minute.
But they're still coming.
They're still, but last Thursday night, 11:30, we just put it out there, and it's went viral, far and wide, and from the north to the south to England. It just, I'm overwhelmed and touched. Everybody is so, I'm so grateful as everybody has came and what has donated, jammies, knowing that it's going to a good cause and it's going directly to the hospitals.
The hospital, to the Royal Victoria. And like, it's such, you know, it's not, I don't mean this to sound reductive in any way, but it's such a small act of generosity that has such a huge impact at the point of delivery. And that's essentially what it is. Because no parent ever foresees that they're going to be in a situation that no parent even wants to consider that situation, and then to be faced with a situation that
It all happens so,
so quickly,
that quick that you haven't, your fight or flight.
Yeah.
But for me, like, that's all I wanted was for her to have those, and I knew, like, anyone that knows her
would
follows
have
me, that animals was her thing.
Yeah.
Animals was her big thing, and I think it hurt me not being able
to give her what you knew she would have liked. And I think that, again, here's Caitlin-Rose's legacy living on and giving back. And it really kind of is such a tribute to her, in that in the 8 months that have passed, look at the 2 huge things that have been achieved in her name. And I know that this initiative, Lorraine, you had initially said that your shop was going to be the drop-off point, but I think it's just gone.
My phone is on fire.
It's on fire. And so many more businesses have come on board.
Clubs, just people in their like home addresses.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm just overwhelmed. I just can't believe it, how crazy has went.
Yeah.
But I'm just so grateful and just can't believe that everybody has like pulled together
to get
for
on
something
board
so
with it.
simple, like, and so,
especially at this time of the year when people are out shopping, and this is a very difficult time of the year. So the initiative in legacy of Caitlin-Rose, if you're out and about, buy a pair of pajamas for a girl, for a boy, whatever size, whatever age, and between the dates of the 24th of November right up until the 15th of December, and can be dropped off. And I'm sure you have no room in your shop at this stage because of the response.
You can Google or Facebook, Instagram, everything that's on.
Every town
has nearly
jumped on board with this. So it's gone beyond like the local community.
Everywhere, from the north to the south to England, there's people actually just posting it now. The postman, I think, he's fed up knocking
your door,
my door, and everybody's door at this point now with jammies and that.
And then are you transporting them up to?
Me and Stella will transport.
Are going to go up.
We'll probably need a double bus.
I was going to say you're going to need like a caravan to lead the way, know, with the donations.
But I would say now, it's just not going to be the Royal. We'll just spread the whole thing out now throughout the hospitals.
So there's going to be...
we have over 150 so far of jammies.
And that was just from you putting that out on social media one night?
Yes, one at 11:30 that Thursday night, and then from 4:30 on the Friday morning, it just went on fire.
Your phone exploded, quite literally. And I think Caitlin-Rose would have loved that.
She would have loved it. She'd have went for every animal going.
So the more animals, the more fluff and comfort and
everything.
Yeah,
fluffy socks. Do you name it?
What I would say to people is think about, like, it might sound a bit harsh, but think about what your child was like.
Yeah.
Think about what, God forbid, just think about what your child would love. And go and buy that. Yeah. Not just animals for, I'm not going to get Caitlin back. But you just never think it's going to happen new. Yeah. But, go and buy something that, somebody's, and people who don't have children, their grandchildren, their neighbours or kids, or, go and buy something that somebody else would love.
Because I know a lot of people, and obviously there are a lot of people who want to help and who want to support. And the sheer volume of responses that you've got from the local community and far beyond shows that desire to help. Yeah. And the fact that it's done in Caitlin-Rose's name, I think, is just so wonderful. And I know that when you are taking them up there, she'll be with you for the journey. 100%. She will be.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people's also, the likes of legislation, people are now like, this has to happen. Yeah. Like everyone has children or knows children or, has grandkids, or we all know someone who has a child. Yeah. And we're all fighting for those children to be able to go to school safely. And to me, as I say, like, we shouldn't have to.
The right to an education should include the right to safe travel to and from school.
Yeah.
You know, I would have thought that was already written in, you know,
Nope, it's not.
in the invisible ink there.
Yeah.
It should have been. The fact that it there, you know, when we bring it back to the tragedy that has happened, that's such a brutal and rude awakener for you
Yeah.
in a very real way. But also it should open up the eyes of every other parent, every other grandparent here, that this isn't good enough. And, you know, parent power is a real
And
force.
what I said as well is to parents is go and look at go yourself and look at where your child is getting on and off a bus.
Yeah.
Don't leave it to that pass you're getting, because
Yeah.
there's nothing behind it. You go and look at where your child is going and getting off, because if I go up to, I pray every day to at the top of the
Yeah.
road, I have to live with, how did I think that road was safe?
I don't think, Stella, that you can, you know, that you should think that way or blame yourself.
Yeah, and I'm not doing
you
that,
know?
but I'm just thinking, like, how did I ever think, like, you know, there was no safety put
Yeah,
behind that?
yeah,
That's what I mean.
yeah,
Not like
yeah.
no safety.
Because again, you assume when that bus pass is issued that
They're
that's
safe.
the bus pickup point, that's the bus drop off point.
Yeah.
That's the way it has been for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And
Children cannot be in charge of a bus.
no, they can't.
They can't just ring and say, drop me off at hole in the haze. It has to stop.
Yeah. And
I know a lot of parents are going to be like, but it doesn't suit me. But we all know something, like, we all know somebody who can pick up their kids. And
yeah,
like, you know, me sitting here today, I didn't think I would ever be sitting
No.
here today.
in the position that you're in.
Yeah.
And I think that for any parent who is perhaps thinking that doesn't suit me, that's a very important,
It'll sit you when you're sitting
Yeah.
where I'm sitting,
absolutely.
looking
and
at
you
memories
need-
of your child
Yeah.
and thinking, you know, will it sit you now? Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah. And like your words there are direct
yeah.
and they're hard hitting
Yeah.
because they're fact.
But I sit here every day looking out the
Yeah.
window thinking to myself, you know, like, we can all yap and moan or whatever, but if
Yeah.
you're sitting in my position
Yeah.
with no words to say some days, like,
It just, yeah. And there are no words.
there's not.
There just aren't words.
You're surviving from minute to minute, from day to day.
Can I ask, just if we're going to think about bringing this to a close, what does it mean to you, Stella, that this charity initiative has been launched in legacy of Caitlin-Rose? What does it mean? The response that people have poured out, does it bring you comfort, or is it possible to process?
I think it makes me proud. It makes me, like, the amount of probably love that I have for my daughter that people are also showing, and the likes of my best friend here and everybody around the world
Yeah.
that's actually coming together to, you know, do something for other children. I think she would have been proud,
She would have been.
and that makes me proud.
Can I ask the same question to you, Lorraine?
Like I would do it if the shoe was on the other foot. I know Stella would be doing
Yeah.
the same for me, you know. But I'm just thinking for other weans out there. I just can't get it out of my head. That day she told me
Yeah.
about the jammies, and it stuck in my head. So it was just to give someone back to the hospital,
Yeah,
and God forbid if anything happens to any other child.
child.
It's just, please, everybody, please pull it together.
Yeah.
We jammies, socks, nitties, anything.
And thank you.
And just a big thank you. I just can't believe it how everybody's pulled together
They have.
for our community, and I just,
For far and wide.
yeah,
Far and wide.
I've just no words. It's just,
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Your
How-
heart is full at the response, and the knowing the impact that it will have at that point where that hurt shouldn't happen, you know, in an already unthinkable situation. I have no words. And I am just, as a mummy, I am in awe. And as a grandmother, I am beyond grateful for your strength in what you are doing to ensure that this doesn't happen to any other child. And I just don't know how to say thank you and how to articulate that.
Well, I just think we need action now.
Yeah, we do.
Words aren't enough from the people. Like, we need action.
Yeah. And I think that that's possibly the best thanks that can be given to you is for those in the powers that be, to act on the legislation and to put in place the things that need to be done.
Yeah.
Because actions do speak louder than words.
Yeah, there's no point. Like, we need action.
Yeah. Well, ladies, thank you so much
Thank you
for inviting Words Want Wisdom to speak to you, and most importantly, to be here with you in Caitlin-Rose's room and to get to know her through you. And I know that she was a very special young girl. I know that because she has a very special mummy.
Oh, thank
She
you.
really does. So that's it for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.